Greetings, everyone. Um, let's see. I'm testing the microphone. Let's see. Audio. Yeah, should be this. So I should be coming in like normal. Um, so recently I got one of these. What you call it? Headphones from it's the Razer brand type headphones. So so anyway, I was just setting up over here. Sorry, just doing a lot of stuff. Some things just quickly distracted me at the last moment, right when I clicked to go live, and but nothing bad, anything like that. So I thought I'll try this out to see how this is compared to my regular microphone, and I hope it works well. Maybe it makes me look more uh, YouTube professional kind of thing. I don't know. Anyways, okay, well, jokes aside, I am continuing today with part two of the nuclear core. I listed as power core just in case YouTube has a problem with the other words or anything like that. You know how some social medias can be extremely sensitive on the harshness of some words or the negative imagery and things like that. So trying to be very neutral here. So let me begin by sharing the screen. Share screen. Window. SolidWorks. Share. Okay, so let's see. Can you all see this? Yeah, okay. So this is the underside. I guess I gotta switch my. It gives me a little pop-up at the very bottom of the screen that's not seen. And when I Alt-Tab, it interferes because it wants to go to that little pop-up. Well, I don't want to. Let's see. It looks like I gotta share this to Facebook. So I'm still blocked or banned or whatever you want to call it, blocked from uh, doing live videos on Facebook, all because I shared remember 9/11 20-year anniversary picture, and technically I didn't share it. Technically, I just posted it from the archives that are in the Facebook account, and I didn't share it from someone else's account. A few people have shared it from my account or similar from other people's accounts, and Facebook doesn't crack down on them. So I guess where if you post it, it goes through a different censoring process than if you were to just share it. My voice, it's getting rough. Had coffee this morning. Maybe I need something else to kind of keep it fresh. So let's see. How do I? Let me go to YouTube and let me click this link live now. Okay. If I click this, Okay, let's try that. I was silent because I noticed it was feedback. There seems to be also like a 10-second delay when I went to YouTube. Okay, so I'm just going to go to Facebook real fast and refresh my wall here just to make sure that the link is in. There's no thumbnail. Well, okay. Last time there was a thumbnail. No thumbnail, so I'll have to. I don't know. I'll have to go in later, I guess. So, okay, continuing with this. Let's see what I could do. I guess I can screen capture. This is typical daily life in DioWarriors. You know, where you got to deal with doing everything yourself, including dealing with silliness from Facebook. So, file, save as. File, save as. What do I call this? I guess I call this one Power Core Part 2, so that way it stays in the same PNG. Close that, go to can I change preview? I guess I could change preview, huh? Choose link preview. Change preview. How do I? Oh, anyway, I don't know. Oh, I think I know. I'm just going to go ahead and just treat it as a photo. I guess I could call it Power Core. So P, there it is. Yay, okay, now I got a thumbnail. I hope it's clickable. Join us live. This. Okay, post. So here is live link. 2 live links, one with thumbnail. So hopefully people will see that and come join the live thing. Okay, back to work. So, okay, so on Monday I finished the video where, well, I stopped the video where I got to one side. I was working with these parts here in this design. And I left the other one alone because it was going to be duplication. And so I was leaving that for later. And so that was later. And yeah, I don't, sometimes this room gets dusty with all of the printing that goes on and the filing and stuff like that. So, anyway, it triggers my allergies sometimes. So, so what I did that night, instead of doing a broadcast, I went back and I edited the other side since it was just duplication. So I made the top side and the bottom side the same. Now what I'm doing here is the next step is I am what's called filleting these overhangs. So I'm trying to print this cylinder. I'm going to try to print the cylinder from this side. So it's going to be standing up. So you can imagine, okay, as the extruder prints from the top down, is fighting against gravity. It's going to be throwing things out there, throwing filament out there. If there's not enough of a support, it throws some filament too far, it will start to sag. Gravity will, take over, and the thing will want to go down, and then you'll get for an ugly looking print. So the techniques is that you want to do some sort of self-supporting design. In this case, I want to show that there's some sort of detail, but I want the self-supporting design is going to be a fillet. So it's going to have these curves. So that way, when the printer prints them, prints the bottom and just gradually goes up into a 90 degree, into a vertical direction. Now, the thing that's going to be a challenge in this particular design is these areas here. Because this is, if you didn't see the first broadcast, this design originally was designed for a resin printer. So doing this with a filament printer, there's different resolution issues. And all of it is because of the nozzle. So I'm using standard size nozzles, which is like a 0.4 or 0.04 millimeter diameter. And diameter. So there's only a certain size, how small you can print something, only a certain size. Once you get to that size, you can't really go below because it just becomes physically impossible for that size nozzle. What some people do is that they get smaller nozzles. What I'm going to do here is, first I'm going to try this print, this cylinder with this, I might call it accordion style ridge, like that. I'm going to try to leave it alone and see how it comes out. If it doesn't come out well, then I'll make an alternative design where I have these arches, these arcs at a wider diameter. So right here, this is like just half. This is 0.125 millimeters, and the smallest that I try to do with an FDM printer is 0.25. So that's going to be pushing to the limit the printers that I'm going to use for printing this. But there's a chance that it may do it just well enough that it can get by. So I'm going to leave that alone. What I do need to do here is do a fillet on these top sides right there, and I just need to go around and do that. Okay, so even though this is going to be the top, just to keep things looking good, I'm just going to leave it alone. Now the other, I'm going to, just to make things look good, I'm going to leave it like the bottom, so it looks symmetrical. So this part here is an overhang, but there's a chance because this is a curve, it might come out okay. I kind of doubt it, but there's a chance. So I'm going to try that chance and see. Okay, there's other issues that I do have with this that I may have to go in and alter, specifically this face here. I don't. I wish I could just move this. Okay, good. I moved that out the way. I think I'm going to get something to drink. Be back. My voice is extremely rough. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Let's see now. I'll get back into all of this. I got so much glare on me. It's amazing how much light comes through a window that has Venetian blinds and it's not direct sun or anything like that. Better. Okay, so let's see. You know, one thing that's annoying about this is that it's got this long cord, which is good that it's long. It's just that it drapes over everything. And with this chair with wheels, you know, it'll get underneath the chair. And I'm tired of having this thing, you know, kind of balance on my lap and then over time just kind of falls. So I'm thinking, you know, that might be a small little project if I can make something that will clip onto the top of my computer and have an arm that I can just put the headphones on. And maybe that arm can also have like a little wheel, a little pulley type wheel that can keep and organize this cord. So, you know, yeah. Anyways, let's see. Let's get him back to this. So, okay. So let's see now. What do I want to do with that? What I can do is kind of eliminate that face a bit. Because from experience, I will have a problem with this face here. It may not be that much because this structure here is very, very small. But I will have a problem. Let me just try it and see how this thing prints. It might print okay. Now the other thing that I want to do, because this is a hollow piece, is I want to just go ahead and make this into a solid piece. It'll take a little bit longer in printing, but it will actually print a little bit better, because sometimes what happens on a shape like this with a printer, because the printer is not just going around and around like a regular cylinder. This one's got shapes. So the nozzle is doing other shapes and stuff. Sometimes what happens is that if the part is very thin, which it is at the very bottom, then there's the tendency of the nozzle to touch a previous layer. And sometimes that touching causes a little push, a little kink. And because it's going around and around, it happens real fast. The part's so small, it's going to be just relying on the surface area where it's touching the build plate to stay on the build plate. So what I will do is make it a little bit solid. I think it's going to just make it solid. No, let's try it without it and see how it goes. But I will have to print this with a raft because of the surface area being so small. Sometimes the raft will grab the build plate more securely than a small area that has, just a small area that's going to touch the something's crawling on my microphone. I don't know what that was. So anyway, let's just try that with the raft. The raft sometimes will work better. Let's see. What about little things like this here? This won't print cleanly. Okay, let's do this. Let's clean up this print a bit before sending it to the software for the printer. And so let me just cut away this. Come on, cut away. That's good. I want to expose what's here. Is that flat? Yeah, that is flat. So let's do this. Let's go sketch, circle, change the orientation. Circle there. And let's just leave it as that. Features, extruded cuts. So what I'm going to do is just kind of eliminate anything that this circle is touching. So I want to go here to this up to surface, which will be one of these. Okay, good. That looks okay. So I take it off of this view. I go to the other side and do the same thing. So I'll select that surface, go sketch. And I'm going to make this, circle again. Come on, circle. Change the orientation. And I go features, extruded cut. Up to surface. And the last thing I want to do is go chamfer. That's way too much. I don't know. Let's see. Let's try 0.5. It's right here. But let's do this more. Let's go 1 millimeter. Yeah, okay. So 1 millimeter will work. So what I'm doing here is that, so imagine this, okay? You have the cylinder touching the build plate at the bottom. It goes up and then there's a ledge, and then it's the middle part, which is basically it's like a donut, just hollow. So this ledge, what's going to happen is that the extruder is going to go around and around, and then there's nothing to catch that ledge. So that ledge at the ends are going to want to kind of get messy and dip. So what I'm doing there is that it goes up, okay? But instead of going straight to the ledge, I'm now making a 45-degree angle. So it's doing like this. So that's going to be one side there. I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Now I still have a ledge right there. So what I'm going to do is kind of support it with a fillet. I am guessing at the measurements right now. Oh, so it's going to be more than 0.25. Let's try 0.5. That will be a good one. I don't think it's going to be 1. It just depends how much I want to do. That's good. That's good enough. So that's there. We do this one also. And let's deal with this ledge right there also. So we go fillet. The one's going to be less. So 0.5. It can work. So let's just do that for both sides. I guess just do one side at a time. Okay, this one. Again, come on. Okay. Well, it didn't like it. Maybe the design is not identical on either side, both sides. It should be. But this one didn't like it, so something is it's a bit off. So I'll make this one less. Oh, well, yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe this one already has something. Yeah. That might be it. This one already has something already there. It has a chamfer. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone. It'll be so small it won't be noticeable. Now, like I said, my concern is going to be here, this area. I could try to eliminate do something like that. Okay. So I don't want to change the aesthetics too much. I just want to do it just enough that it matches the original and yet still be friendly for the printer. So yeah, when you're dealing with designs and scales like what we're doing here at DioWarriors, where we try to take advantage of the strengths of the technologies we have access to. So we do something with an FDM printer. Oh. We do something with an FDM printer, and we try to take advantage of the unique characteristics of that printer. With a resin printer, well, we design to take advantage of the strengths of those resin printers. Uh, we don't do everything in resin because the costs would be definitely more expensive the larger the parts are. And resins are not as strong as regular filament, regular plastic. So transporting resin or keep it on the shelf, it gets brittle after. I don't want to say after a while, but it gets brittle. So we try to shoot for our designs, our props to have as much durability as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Save. Let's okay. I just got a nice little message. Okay, back to work. Let's see. Okay, so the last thing that I want to do is what I hinted at on Monday. You see these fillets right here? They're 0.25 diameters. So all these fillets right here, this one, these all around this area, I got two sets of thoughts that I'm thinking about. One, I'm thinking of just removing them from this side. Definitely removing the outer fillet, because this is the side that's going to be touching the build plate. And whatever touches the build plate is never going to be a very nice side. It's always going to have something. The edges are going to be rough. The surface is going to be rough. Something is always going to be not as nice as anywhere else. And there's really no way to get around it. Unless you want to do things like suspend the part off of the build plate, putting the parts, and there's ways on doing that. But then they have the supports. We call them support structures. Any type of structure that supports the object. So if you suspend the entire object off the build plate, well, you still have a support that you have to clean up afterwards. So you still have an issue. So what I'm going to do as the experiment here is first I'm going to see if there's only one side that this fillet handles. Okay, fillet 7, and it looks like it is. So first I'm going to suppress this. And then let's see what errors come up. Okay, there's some errors there. Some parts vanished. And because that sketch was linked over here, what did on one side did to the other. There's also an extruded cut. So let's see. Okay, the extruded cut was affected. Maybe I'm able to undo the how much of the change occurred. That's the right way to say how much damage I did. Okay. Maybe I can undo some of it by simply investigating what caused the errors. Sometimes it can be as simple as a misplaced point. In this case, I don't see any misplaced points. So that is disappointing. What I can do here instead is, it'll probably tell me something like, yeah, could not find a face or plane. So there's a way to tell SolidWorks to change the face or plane that you're working with. Where is it though? It's not, it's not something I do all the time. Edit sketch or plane. Okay, but that's not going to fix it. Can I click this? Let me save first before I commit to anything. Configure feature, save selection, sketch color, feature properties. Let's just take a quick look. Oh, make reference sketch. Well, let's just see what make reference sketch has. What options? Okay, no, never mind. Control Z. I don't want to make this into a reference sketch. Now, how do I undo? Because Control Z just went back and just to change that. Well, let's just save this here. Let's just take a look at that one. Oh, okay. But this shouldn't have been an issue, really. Maybe I can change it by selecting this as the face. Would that cause a problem? So far, no. So what was it? It was fillet 7, I think. So if we suppress this, similar result. No error though. Okay. If I unsuppress this, will it force the other suppression out? Yeah. Well, here's an idea. I can delete it rather than suppress. I did Control Z and a Control Z again. Okay. So let's go to fillet 7 and simply delete it. So chamfer 6 and cut extrude 24 will be affected. Say yes. Okay. Well, more is affected. So let's go in and deal with, before I save anything, I already saved it. So go in and see if we can fix these errors that cropped up. Okay, now this one's got some reference points, if I can really see them. Okay. These are easy to fix. These are referencing points that no longer exist when I did the sketch, so I just delete. And delete this one. Okay, so select it. Now I have the chamfer 6. Okay, so that affects the big ones here, so we can just what I'm going to do is do this twice. This is a simple little fix here. Watch. I can actually do it here. Well, let me just see. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and edit this. I'm going to say, okay, it doesn't find these edges. I'm just going to go ahead and delete these edges one at a time. Found these these 4 on the other side that I'm not working with. So I'm going to select it. Then I'm going to come back here and I guess select this edge. Sketch, sketch, circle. And I'm just going to redo what I did previously. I'm going to make a circle that's here. Circle that's here. And I'm just going to eliminate what's in between. I'm going to cut it away. Features, extruded cut. How much do I want to extrude? I just got to eyeball it and guess 0.5. Hmm. 0.25. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Then I'm going to do a fillet again. Oh, sorry. Not a fillet, a chamfer. One millimeter is too much. 0.5, and take a quick look. Yeah, it's right there. And then just do it for these other edges, and we should have what we originally had, but without the chamfer on this circle. So, okay, so the logic on this is that all this area here becomes the surface that's going to be touching the build plate. The strength on supporting this object on the build plate is going to come from the thicker surface area. The edges is because if I don't have some sort of surface contacting the edges securely, when it comes time to consistently do the cylinder part that goes around and around and around, those thin edges are going to become a problem on the very first layers. It may not make a nice cylinder round part. It may do like part of it's going to be a cylinder, and then it's going to not have a good contact with the extruded with the extruded plastic, and so the nozzle is going to go around, but the plastic is going to stick and then not stick, and then you end up having this set of straight, like the plastic took shortcuts. Eventually, as the extruder goes around and around and builds it up, it will grab, and you'll end up having a cylinder part, a nice looking round part. But until then, it's going to look like it has skips, like the extruder just took shortcuts instead of doing the entire circle. So when stuff like that happens, I usually go in and with a knife and just kind of carve things out. But if you can streamline as much of your stuff as possible, might as well just make life easier for you and streamline it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is make this into an STL file. Save as. Copy, save the path. Let me go up one. So 2020. Okay, so I don't have an STL folder. I usually organize it by putting an STL folder. All the STLs for that particular prop goes there. Save. Yes. Yes. Real fast, let me just go to the top and see if there's any error. No error. Usually, if there's error anywhere in this, it will be listed on the top over here. Either a yellow warning icon or a red stop type icon. The yellow warning is something that usually it'll be something like it kind of works, but there's a problem in that particular sketch. You saw me just now deleting some points. Those would cause a warning. An error would be like there's absolutely no way that the program can do the part, do that particular sketch. Usually, for example, if I delete a side and I have sketches associated with that side, but that side no longer exists, well, then there's references. Those references no longer exist either, so that's going to generate an error. But if you end up having like only, let's say you have that side, the same situation, you have the side, but you have a reference to it, but that reference also references something else, and you eliminate the side, well, half of those references are gone, so it's going to say a warning because the other reference still exists. So you don't say stuff like that. Don't highlight things like that. So in other words, with why I explain all of that is because on other more complicated designs where I have an assembly, where I have multiple objects, and I'm showing them on the broadcast, you'll see like, oh, how come his design is full of errors? It's all yellow. It's got all these. It's because sometimes these warnings come up, and I know that on some of these, for example, I will have a reference line where I don't have anything extruded as a 3D. It's just a 2D reference design. Let's say, for example, I want to know the measurements from point A to point B. So I make a little line from here to there. It tells me, and I'm thinking, okay, since I'm currently designing this thing, let's say in a different file, another part, I don't want to go in and just delete that reference yet. Let me just save that file with those references, and I'll delete them later. They're not going to interfere with the design at all. They're just a temporary reference. Well, the program doesn't know that it's a temporary reference. And so if I do a change elsewhere and it screws up that reference, it's going to flag it as a warning. and then you'll see like, oh, my design is full of errors, and that's not the case at all. So let's see. Okay, what I need to do here is bring up Cura. I can switch, once Cura loads up, I can switch the view to that. It's loading. Right now it's a splash screen. Loading machines. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Now it would be good to have the Jeopardy background music, you know. Initializing engine, loading UI. Okay, the splash screen has gone. Program has appeared. Let's see. Let me switch. Well, let me go open the file, and I'll share it right now with you. Path that I copied. Okay. So let's see. I go back to StreamYard, and oh, that's not StreamYard. It is. Okay, so now I will stop the screen. Can I guess I could only share this one screen at a time. So let me stop and let me go share. Share screen. Share screen. Window. Cura. Share. Okay, so this is not going to be the printer that's going to be printing this. This is my CR10. So let me change. I only got 2 printers on this right now. Yeah, the only other option is this one. Okay, better. So this little bitty printer is going to print this one. I don't want to print it directly in the center, so I'm going to move it to, move it to the back. Right about there. Now I'm going to take a quick look at the settings. Infill density, 22%. That's okay. Let's make it more like 15. I'll take a look at it in just a bit. Raft, yes, I want a raft on this one. Okay, so I go slice. And it says it'll take 14 minutes. Preview. So I start at the very bottom. So this is how it's going to print. It's going to do the raft. That's the first layer that you see there. Layer 2. This is all still the raft. Now it's the part. So print that. So go up. Okay, so let's take what I'm going to do, I'm going to slow down the printer also, but I'm going to do that at the printer, not here, because at the printer I can adjust the speed on the fly. And here obviously I would have to redo the file, and then, so. Okay, I am going to, which printer to do it with? Okay, got the, okay, I got the little SD card in my hand. You can see it right there. Okay, and turn it on. Okay, I need to come up to this here, and I can say USB drive I. What should I call this? New folder. Now I need to bring up another browser window, not browser, sorry. I need to bring up another File Explorer window. Paste. And go to the STL folder. Oh, actually, I'm not there yet. Silly me. I only say I don't think I saved it. I didn't close Cura. I still have Cura open, so let me just go ahead and save this real fast. I just made the STL folder, and that was it. V. Okay, it's making the thing. Save the file. Now I'm going to do the G code. Itch. Okay, so now I can close Cura. And select the G code. Paste. And I will now, the names are long, so I will shorten the name. Just on the G code. Now, copy, paste, copy here. Boom. Okay. So in 14 minutes, we will see the result. Well, it'll be a little bit longer than 14 minutes. So I'm going to try to stay broadcasting on the whole thing. Well, I'm not going to move the camera to look at it. Maybe I should, huh? I'll have to move the camera back. Can I just simply move the tripods? I got another tripod way back over there. I'll just move the second tripod and then just transfer the camera itself rather than move the entire tripod. Okay, sounds good. I am going to take this this XD card out of the USB slot. I really don't like having micro SD cards or whatever they call them, because they tend to fall, and then it's like we got stuff on the bottom. It's like, where did it fall to? Let's see. I gotta turn this on. Yeah, I'm in the process now of looking for better smart outlets that I could hook up to my Amazon Echoes. The ones that I have, I don't know what went on. Chinese based, and I don't know if they updated the software or I had some sort of electrical issue after a thunderstorm. So I don't know if there was damage or if it was a software update. Some of them work, some of them don't. Some of them partially work. So I don't know what's going on. And so instead of, I tried to figure it out. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to have to see about getting, change my approach. And I used to be able to just say, turn on, like computer, printer 1, printer 2. And so what I'm going to end up doing most likely is rely on the Amazon power outlets, and then just have those hooked up to maybe like an extension outlet, where I can have multiples, something like that, and then just say to turn on printer 1 and or should I say turn on like row 1, row 2, row 3, and have the printers on each of those rows turn on. In other words, have a physical on-off switch extension connected to it. So at least I turn on that physical extension. I can manually turn off a printer. But I could, so I'll do something like that. Either that, or maybe I'll be lucky and I'll find maybe Amazon come up with a multiple outlet that I can have multiple printers connected to it. Okay, so I'm going to do the hairspray method. Okay, that will secure the raft without question to the plate. So the print, nuclear core, file, and I'm going to slow down the speed to half. I just want to make sure that the first layers really stick. Let me get the other tripod and set that up, and I'll get back on the microphone here again. Or headphones. Microphone headphones. Okay, the printer has just started, and you know what? No. Well, cancel that. I will just entertain you by just talking. The cord where the camera is plugged in is not the long one, so I would have to disconnect the camera and all that stuff. So I'm not going to do that. And if, and this is a live broadcast, so I don't have any video editing magic going on, so I can't like abracadabra and then it's done. So just bear with me. Okay. Yeah, it'll be so much more entertaining. Well, since I've slowed it down to half, it's going to take twice as long, so it'll be 28 minutes. I don't think it'll be a pleasant experience for the video to go on just watching me, for 28 minutes. I don't have anything else to kind of fill up the time with. So what I'm going to do is stop the broadcast now, and the next time I do a broadcast, I'll show the results. If I have to reprint it, I'll do the edits and I'll reprint it and then show you if I have to do any of that. And I'll see about taking photos. Oh, it just did the wrap. So I'll see about taking photos and I'll show everyone the end result. Well, thank you for watching, and we'll see how it comes out. I'm curious to see if we got everything just right. If everything comes out good, then I'll see about putting that onto the store, and I'll start thinking about making another update to the WMD device as well. I know people want to get that, and I kind of want to move away from the resin. Yeah. Okay. See y'all next time. Thank you for watching.